Okay, March 19. Oh, dude, the analysis VIX. Let's see what happened. There's a big wick on the top, smaller on the bottom. Body is towards the what bottom part of the daily range. The 9 EMA falls down. Um, the wick is not even halfway through the previous green candle. Um, and the not it's still active candle, but the current close is still above this candle's closed, above this candle's close. So it's minor, um, more like a correction type of thing today. I think tomorrow it could go down, but not by much. Um, it could go down to like this level, I think, but it's more like sideways with a minor um bearish outlook to it. So let's say it's sideways to small down, which means because VIX is volatility is measures the appetite, uh, minor down, sideways. That means hmm, that means players in the market doesn't they don't they haven't really decided if they want to take more risk or less. They are more lenient towards less risk, but mostly undecided. DXY, uh, okay. There's a big red candle. Obviously, this is a reversal. Um, top top wick is small, kind of the same size as previous wick. Um, yeah, this is definitely bearish. Which is a good thing because wicks mean which I mean the DXY, which is the dollar index, means that there's less fears in the market. Um, less uncertainty. It's less uncertainty. Let's see if there's a support resistance. There's kind of a support resistance here, more like a range to it than a definite line, which is kind of mm, yeah. It crossed down this range and went bumped back up. So oh, it could go down. I think it will go down like this much for around. Actually, let's see a second, or even lower. For resistance is kind of this area here, which is almost the bottom of the bottom candle. Let's see if there's another one. Another one. There's one here. Um, but that line was that support was crossed so many times here, so it's not very strong. Um, that's not really a support resistance actually. Well, it is, but it's very weak. So let's see. Hmm, maybe this one here. Actually, yeah, there's one here. Touch here. Actually, that's a pretty strong one. 'Cause it touched here. It touched here. This one is also close. So the 98,771 is kind of a strong support put. So I think it might go down to that level, 98.70, um, or 90, 98.80 ish. Yeah, so this is kind of small. It definitely will should go down. TLT. Yeah, this is all going sideways. There's a large wick on the top, small wick on the bottom, mid-sized candle, but the candle itself is kind of in the range of the previous candle. It opened at the bottom, at the top of the previous, and kind of the low of the day is kind of in between the close of the previous day. Um, all these candles are inside this body. Um, it, and there's just a strong resistance from the 9 EMA. Also, there's kind of a strong resistance here, or here, here. If you can, if you see all this resistance here, that's all for the green candle. So that's another sign. Yeah, this probably I think will go down too. Um, either sideways or down. I'm more leaning to sideways. Now sideways ways mean it could go down this much, but this is kind of in a range here. And then Elliott waves also doesn't count because it goes down and went down and up, and it's all over actually all over the place. And actually, if you can see in the longer term, after this gap down, it never closed the gap up. So on the longer term, it's definitely um, bearish, which means probably next week, basically on this one, mid next week or something like that, it would go down this much at least, or yeah, around here. Actually, there's a support here, which again, actually no, it's not really a support. If anything, this one is because it's touched here and touched here. Yeah, but for tomorrow, it I think it could go up a little bit, could go down a little bit. I think it. See, the thing is here, it went up, down a lot. It tried to go back up, wasn't successful. Went down more, um, went up, but didn't reach the gap here. Then went up, down a little, like it went down more than it went up in terms of each candle. Um, so yeah, this is definitely sideways-ish, but more to the downside, which kind of in line with the previous two, that risk appetite is kind of the same with a little bit less outlook. Gold. Um, gold. Yeah, gold went down. This huge wick, very, very big wick on the bottom and a smaller one on the top. The small the the top wick is inside the body of the previous candle. This whole current candle is in the top half of the daily range. Um, so the bearishness itself is getting weaker, but it's still um a still a bearish one for tomorrow. Let's see, this one is actually more clear. Actually, this is more clear cut elite wave. What, one, two, three. So it could go down like this much or start at 2, 3, maybe 4 days, but more like 2, 3 days of sideways, just going based off of the elite wave. So tomorrow, I think tomorrow it will go down a small bit. Let's look at support resistance. There's one here. It's kind of a strong one because it's touched here, touched here, touched here. Um, and it's also touched here and bounced back up. So, no, actually, sorry. This one was touched here, which is this range, and bounced back up. So this is stronger support here. It just sliced through this part here, so that's not really a support anymore. Um, yeah, I think it will go down a little bit. Um, the thing I'm not sure about is in the whole EMA is a downturn, but I'm not really sure is because the body is on the towards the top of the range. That means that it the weak bearishness weakened and because there's also an Elliott wave um 3, 4 part 4 in the likelihood. Yeah, I think it should go this way, sideways, start sideways tomorrow. Um, and because there's a support resistance here. Um, yeah, I think it will go down a little bit with more of a sideways thing. So yeah, which again is in line with all the rest that the fears of an uncertainty is subsiding. It's still in minds of people, investors, but it's subsiding. Oil, and also in terms of inflation threat. Oil, yeah, still sideways. The bottom wick touched the 9 EMA, which is still up in an uptrend. And bounced back up. Um, the bottom and the top wick is roughly the same in size. Um, Also the this part of the top wick is above previous candles green, which means the boost hard tried to push it back up, but they weren't very successful. So at this point, this is more like it's sideways, but actually this is at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B, C, D, probably D will form. Um, and also this is kind of a pennant here. Um, which is continuation. Yeah. So I think oil just based on the charts next week, I think will keep going up. I think it will reach what? 94, 94, 100. So another 6. Yeah, it could go up to 106. Oh, let's see if it, when was 106 last time? Yeah, this is 106. Yeah, kind of. It's not. There's not really. Actually, there's kind of supporters also is way back in the past, so very strong. But yeah, at this point, yeah, tomorrow I think tomorrow will go up, go sideways. Mm, let's see if it's bearish outlook at just like the previous ones, like at by out bearish outlook. I mean, it's sideways, but it's more likely to go down a little bit. Um, yeah, the body is solid in size, so but also it's smaller than this candle. And there's kind of a support here. Yeah, it's sideways, but actually, because this is finishing the ABCD part of the Elliott wave, I think it will go up a little bit, maybe up here, which is what, 99? Oh, let's call it 100. Well, let's not call it 100 because it's up there. 99, 90-ish. Yeah. Um. Now with oil, there's a, there's a conflict going on. So this is not a peacetime chart here, and as such, it's not the chart itself is not very reliable. But yeah, just based off of the charts, I think it will go up a little bit up until this 999. Um, and if it's a go, oil is going up, inflation fears are also will rise, which is kind of so. So the U.S. oil, mm, yeah, the U.S. oil is a little bit contradicts the previous one where they also are sideways, but a little less riskiness in the market. And this one is also sideways, but a little bit more um riskiness. Let's see this. Yeah. Okay. Yep, down. Oh, and all these are still the daily chart. Yep, down. Um, small. Well, it's not like a tiny green candle, but and this sized body is up here too. So um, and the the top and the bottom wick are each about the size of the body. The wick closed the gap, follows push down. Um, I'm thinking about the Elliott wave here. One actually downtrend started here, and there was a gap. There's lots of gaps here, so went down to one, two, three. No, this whole mess here. Mostly this green candle just kind of blew up the Elliott wave pattern here. So yeah, it's not. It doesn't really count. Yeah. So there's also the EMA 9 EMA is also in a downtrend. Small green candle. Um, Tomorrow it could go sideways or mostly down. There's not. Let's see if there's like a strong support somewhere. This is kind of a support range here. Because the wick touched here, which is not a strong indication of support resistance, but nevertheless it did touch. The body is here, body is here, and this is kind of where it bounced back up from. So that's strong support. Now if it breaks tomorrow, it breaks the support, it could go down a lot. Let's see the next support resistant kind of here one. 40, 64.71 ish. Uh, there's kind of, yeah, that's not really a support resistance because these just kind of just cut straight through it. Um, yeah, there's not really a support resistance at this point, except for this one, which is way down, away from the current daily range. So yeah, tomorrow I think it will go down. Well, I'm thinking, could it go sideways or down? Well, this candle was pretty small actually. Um, yeah, I think it will either go sideways or down. And if S&P goes down, um, that means there's more risk. But again, it's more of sideways. Yeah. So just to recap, for today, um, markets are undecided. Um, but they still have a minor bearish outlook for the day, but mostly undecided. See you tomorrow.